And I have arrived home. I hope this is on. What a flight that was. Actually, once we got in the air, it went pretty well. But getting to that point, I guess it started. I mean, I got to the airport with plenty of time. Uber was very fast, did a great job. And I thought, okay, well, I have a little extra time to kill. But as I got to a seat just to relax a little bit, I noticed my phone delayed. 2 o'clock is now 2:07, 7 minutes left. But once it starts saying delayed, you don't know when it ends. So saw that, and then do 2:20, and then 2:23. So I knew it was going to be a while. I never got the upgrade, which is fine. I mean, I can't expect it every time. They do want to sell those seats, but it would have been nice. But yeah, no upgrade for me. But my seat wasn't bad. I mean, it's still premium, and it's a short flight. You just have to get in the air. Well, we taxied out finally. Everything was normal, and then there was like a baby crying, a child crying in the back, and kept crying. But I didn't hear it that well because I had my noise canceling earphones in. And finally, an announcement by the pilot saying, "We are going to the captain. We're going to. Everyone has to have a seatbelt on. We cannot take off unless everyone has a seatbelt on." Apparently, there's been a problem in the very back of the plane or near the back of the plane. And they said, if without a seatbelt, we have to go back to the gate. And we waited, and sure enough, the next announcement said, all right, we're going to be returning to the gate so we can let a family off. It's like, well, what do you mean to let a family off for a seatbelt? A child, yeah, all children have to be in seatbelts. So I guess the child did not want to be in a seatbelt. And the parents, and this is where it gets, a little dicey. Is it the parents' fault, or do they raise this kid that's undisciplined? The kid looked like about 2. I saw the kid going up. Or, I mean, was it just not worth them to fight? It was just, I don't know. I mean, it's like if this kid's screaming and you don't want to physically, duct tape the kid to the seat with a seatbelt on. But on the other hand, you want to be parents that have raised, and who knows, maybe the kid, yes, could have special needs, could be, so you don't know. But it's just every single person on this flight is being delayed, and it's like I don't know. Air travel it's kind of a serious thing. These planes, they have to, and that's why we'd rather just get anyone that's not compliant off rather than take any risks. But I just kind of think, man, it's like, and I wonder, were you going somewhere and you canceled your vacation? I didn't ask, or did you, or are you going home? In which case, how do you plan on getting home? Because every single airline is going to require a seatbelt, unless maybe a private jet. I don't know. They didn't look like they were going to be on a private jet. But otherwise, how you guys take a bus? Do you drive? But I don't know. Maybe it is a canceled vacation. That a year later, maybe the little girl she's looked about 2. Maybe she's old enough, and they can get some discipline in her and not throw tantrums, or whatever, scream. She just looked at terrible twos, that's why they call it that. There's an age where you're just very defiant, and she was. But I think a lot of people seemed upset. I was annoyed, really bothered by it. But, it's and you might grumble a little bit, and some people are kind of making a grumbling noise. I'll put the kid in the seat. There's jokes. But as they kind of came up, it didn't sound like most people said anything. It's like, okay, you're annoying. I'm going to give you the evil eye, but we're not going to say anything. But the guy behind me, he'd been saying stuff the entire time about, raising kids right and doing stuff and, being a good spanking maybe or something. And he said something. He's just like, yeah, I get off. And the guy's like, hey, because I think he was carrying the little girl. He's like, or maybe he wasn't, but it's like, she's a child, whatever. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm an adult. And he's like, what? And he's like, just keep moving. So it looked like a little bit of confrontation. And he's like, and he said it a couple times, or maybe to the wife too. And she's like, she's just a baby or whatever. He's like, keep moving. He's like, this guy looked like, he's pretty rough too, but the other guy was pretty big. So he got rough and big. And I thought, okay, we're going to have a little confrontation here over the silliest thing. I mean, it just sounds stupid, but he was just like, keep moving. He wasn't going to back down, and the people was like, all right, just to get off. And I guess they were friendly with the flight attendant, and they were, there was no hard feelings with the staff. They're like, we just can't do it, and I'm sorry. And it's like, okay, well, we'll go to the gate. And I'm like, yeah, but other people are like, but it just shows in general, people, I mean, people that fly on planes or can afford air travel tend to be civil. Most people are pretty civil. I mean, especially because, like, what if someone had a heart attack or someone has a medical issue? No one would probably say anything. So it's different than that. I mean, it's like you have a need, or maybe it's, yeah, a child. But then, if someone's just being belligerent and just yelling that they want more vodka, then yeah, I think people have a right to kind of be more like, shame the person when they go up. Shame on you for being a jerk. But in this case, you can't shame a child. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. The parent, maybe they have discipline problems, and maybe it'll be learning experience for them, because none of us learned anything. It's like, so hopefully someone learned something from this whole thing. But I guess if nothing else, plan plenty of time when you fly home. But once we got in the air, it was fine. They actually served me the box meal, the chocolate, the chips, and my drink. So like 4 items. So I got a lot. I didn't even eat the food yet. So that was kind of nice. And yeah, getting home, it was cool. My neighbor gave me a ride. I mean, I hired her to give me a ride. So now I'm back. Now I'll take a nap and rest and look at the calendar for the next trip, I guess. Yeah, it's fun, but the planes aren't the most fun part of travel. Let me put it that way.